Again, my name is Adrienne Montgomery. I'm with ERP VAR. Today we're going to be talking about Sage 100 Advanced Analytics, Shipping and Payments. And I'm so pleased to be joined by Ubix, Starship, VIP Integrated Payments. And just a little bit about the companies here. We're joined by Tony Levy. He's a VP of Product Development over at Ubix. Matt St. John, he's the Sales Executive at Starship. And VIP Integrated Payments, Maya Green, he's a partner. And thank you all for joining. And a little bit about Ubix. Ubix is a data science platform designed to allow business users and subject matter experts to solve complex analytical problems without relying on data scientists. It's really easy to pull up information with Ubix. It manages the complete artificial intelligence life cycle by automating and scaling all the key tasks across the end-to-end data and analytics pipeline. We help enable Sage 100 users of all skill levels to contribute to the development of AI applications at scale. And then Starship was founded in 1987. They provide integrated multi-carrier shipping software that connects your warehouse to the front office. They partner with dozens of parcel and LTL carriers, FedEx, USPS, UPS, OnTrack on the parcel side, and then DHL, Holland, T-Force Freight, which is previous UPS Freight, YRC, Old Dominion, as well as regional carriers like Pitt, Ohio. And they have integrations with Sage 100, Dynamics GP, Dynamics 365 Business Central, Sage, all the Sage products, Acumatica, QuickBooks, SAP Business One, Epicor, and SysPro. Amazon, eBay, Magento, Shopify, and WooCommerce. VIP is a leading provider of integrated payment technology solutions to North American merchants. Differentiated by strategic relationships, they offer a multiple platform model. So they look at the end user and they recommend the best integrated payment solution based on the needs of the end user. They have complete US-based customer support, and they have many relationships with Sage partners and ERP partners of mid-market ERPs that they've built over 25 years by integrating and developing those relationships as part of their drive to help all of their business partners succeed and grow. So we're going to be talking about how Ubix takes the data inside Sage 100 and helps the user make the best decision based on all the previous data and offers up decision-making tools for users inside the modules in Sage 100. And then we're going to pass it over to Starship, where Starship's going to be talking about automated shipping based on dimensional weight of packages, based on the location of the customer and all the rules of the shipment. Starship's going to select the most efficient process to get that package to the customer, and then also help customer service with tracking numbers and where their package is, easy tools to let the customer know where their product is en route. And VIP Integrated Payments is going to help the Sage 100 user get the best payment rate based on all the rules of the order. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Tony, who's going to talk about Ubix. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, listen, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to all of you on behalf of Ubix. Let me just say that we're thrilled and excited to partner with ERP VAR, V Technologies, and VIP Integrated Payments today to describe how you can leverage your existing Sage 100 infrastructure investment to unlock business value through advanced analytics in these uncertain times. Think of Ubix as an advanced analytics and data science platform. It's designed to help business users and domain experts such as business analysts, financial analysts, demand planners, inventory analysts, solve analytic challenges that were never possible before, and to do that fast, reliably, affordably. This is really the next big wave in unlocking business value for mid-market companies in all industries and geographies. So, why is this important? Why now and why UBIX? The short answer is unprecedented volatility, uncertainty, and risk. In a world where demand for products is uncertain, supply is at risk, and input commodity prices are highly volatile, every company needs new tools and disciplines to anticipate and shape business outcomes more effectively. Now, traditional ERP and reporting tools alone cannot address the analytic opportunities that exist from the front office to the back office, from customer analytics, demand forecasting, to production and procurement on the left side of this slide. Think of UBIX as extending Sage 100 to empower business users to address these high-value analytic challenges with data science and advanced analytics. And we offer compelling pre-built solutions from our solution library, as we mentioned here on the right side of our slide, across a range of use cases to help you get started quickly, reliably, and affordably. Now, modern business systems like Sage 100 are already providing flexible on-demand digitization of core business operations, in a sense, driving digital transformation. With the advent of data science and advanced analytics, organizations can now analyze unprecedented volumes of data from disparate sources faster, continuously, and cost-effectively to drive new insights throughout the enterprise. We call this the era of the intelligent business, where intelligent processes and applications tap into both internal and external data sources to generate new insights and foresight that drive action for greater business impact. UBIX helps you create this intelligent business by transforming the way you measure, monitor, and analyze operational and financial data for better, effective decision-making. UBIX helps you shift, in a sense, from the left side of this slide to the right side of this slide, from an over-reliance on human intuition to make decisions towards deriving new insights automatically from and directly from data to augment human judgment. For example, if today you create demand forecasts using human judgment alone, then with UBIX, you use advanced analytic algorithms to create a more accurate demand forecast based on historical data, and in some cases, external drivers such as weather or consumer price indices and other possible microeconomic indices. You reconcile human judgment with machine-generated forecasts, make final adjustments, and submit the final forecast to the plan of record. UBIX helps you shift from an over-reliance on manual spreadsheets and traditional reporting tools on the left side of the slide to leveraging modern cloud analytics and automation that include proven algorithms that operate on more granular data, for instance, down to the SKU level, as well as external data to create new insights, new inferences, new predictions that were not possible before. With UBIX, you shift from an over-reliance on historical internal data to drive decisions towards augmenting historical data with external causal drivers. Again, it could be weather, commodity indices, consumer price indices, to create new insights that drive business impact. Think of UBIX as an advanced analytics platform that manages the end-to-end data science life cycle. It bridges the gap between business users and data scientists. While other data science platforms focus on software developers and data scientists, UBIX focuses on domain experts such as business analysts, financial analysts, demand planners, inventory analysts, and more. We believe that until the domain expert is brought into the analytics process early, data science will not become abundant, reliable, and cost-effective. With UBIX, companies can leverage Sage 100 and existing infrastructure, combining both internal data and external data to generate new insights. Specifically, our platform ingests and assembles these data. We enable users to build analytic solutions that can be put into production quickly. These solutions then create new inferences and predictions and pass these to the appropriate end user applications. This way, data science-enabled processes and applications can be quickly built. They can be built cost-effectively to deliver timely, reliable foresight and intelligent action. In effect, we help you become smarter without having to hire expensive, hard-to-find talent. Now, because UBIX is a general-purpose data science platform, we address any number of data types and use cases from the front office to the back office. And here we list just a few. Sales pipeline conversion modeling is about analyzing data in your sales pipeline. Perhaps these are stored in a Salesforce automation tool or simply a spreadsheet. By looking at customer interactions, various attributes of sales opportunities, we can build models that predict the likelihood to convert a sales opportunity into a win, a loss, or a no deal. This can help companies' sales and marketing teams prioritize their actions to increase win ratio and optimize resources. Accounts receivable collection analytics enables a company to model customer attributes such as firmographics, payment history, to infer the likelihood that one of its customers who has missed a past due invoice will pay in the next period. By segmenting customers, the AR team can optimize resources to improve collections and reduce collection costs. For instance, segment C is unlikely to pay. These customers can be sold to an outside collection agency. Segment B may pay. These are sent a phone call. And segment A is very likely to pay. These are sent a reminder email. Demand forecasting is the most basic of use cases for the majority of hard goods companies, whether a manufacturer, a distributor, or a retailer. By analyzing order history as well as external factors, one can create a more reliable demand forecast by time period, by SKU, by channel. Imagine what a 30% improvement in forecast accuracy can do for a company in terms of reducing working capital requirements and safety stock levels. Commodity procurement analytics is about using internal procurement data combined with external commodity index data to create a more reliable commodity price forecast. And when combined with demand, then the ability to make better procurement recommendations. A 3 to 5 cent procurement savings drops right down to the bottom line. Asset monitoring and predictive maintenance is about monitoring sensor data from manufacturing or perhaps warehouse equipment to detect anomalies and predict failures. This leads to improved asset uptime and availability in order to optimize throughput through the facility. These are just a few examples of how data science and advanced analytics can help Sage 100 customers unlock business value. Now, let me just share with you a real-world customer example. This is a $200 million a year meat processor based in the Midwest. They convert beef, pork, and turkey proteins into various products for sale into 2 market segments. The first segment is the restaurant market, which has experienced a significant decline during the pandemic. The second segment is the specialty food retail and distribution market, which is seeing a significant growth. A new CFO joined the company 3 years ago to drive digital transformation. He replaced their legacy ERP and then started to build out an analytic foundation using Snowflake as a data lake and Power BI as the analytic workbench. This is when we met the CFO, and he told us that their #1 business challenge is how to cope with input commodity price volatility. His company's caught in the middle. On the one hand, they buy proteins on the open market, and on the other hand, large retailers are putting pressure on price. He needs to use analytics to help his procurement team make better buy decisions. And he recognized that his current analytic foundation was missing a critical component, namely a data science platform to combine both internal procurement data with third-party commodity price index data to create models that forecast commodity prices going forward. The output of UBIX is fed both the ERP reporting module as well as Power BI as their analytic workbench. We're pursuing 2 use cases with this customer. The first use case creates a reliable commodity price forecast engine using third-party data and historical internal procurement data. In the second use case, we're tackling the demand forecast to create a more reliable demand forecast. And with quantity from the demand forecast and price from the price forecasting engine, we can then make a reliable procurement or quantity times price recommendation. And as you can see, the business value is significant. 3 cent savings per pound in procurement price for this company is worth $1 million in annual procurement savings. This drops right down to the bottom line. This underscores that the ROI in advanced analytics is substantial. This case study is the reason that data science and advanced analytics is so important. Particularly in these turbulent times where volatility, uncertainty, and risk are increasing, advanced analytics can unlock significant business value across a range of business challenges. Now, at the heart of our strategy to deliver value quickly and affordably to mid-market companies is our solution library, as illustrated here on this slide. Through our own efforts and those of our partners, we have access to hundreds of analytic solutions in a range of industries, from retail and industrials to energy, financial services, and other services. Many of these were built and are in production for over 20 years. If one of your use cases can be already addressed by one of these models, then the implementation effort is low and the time to value is fast. This library of solutions allows you to accelerate your analytic journey and receive value at every step. For instance, you can start by addressing demand planning opportunities, and then optimize global capacity to ensure there's enough capacity to meet the anticipated demand. And then at the plant level, create more reliable production plans and schedules that are constraint-based. Then address safety stock levels in a warehouse, address logistics and the total supply network. You can then tackle procurement, much like that meat processor we talked about earlier. And then even on the factory floor, predictive maintenance of equipment can deliver a lot of value. The opportunity to expand and accelerate your analytic journey is really endless. And at each step, there is an opportunity to unlock business value. Now, demand planning is a great place to start in all companies that have hard goods at the heart of their business, for example, manufacturing, distribution, retail. Human judgment alone cannot cope with volatility, uncertainty, and risk. And traditional statistical forecast methods, largely based on history, are adequate at handling fast-moving items that don't work in complex, volatile demand patterns. Now, demand is often impacted by external drivers such as weather or foot traffic or local demographics, consumer tastes, and social media. Our solution uses data science to combine external and internal data. It avoids overfitting the data by minimizing or pruning out factors that have little to no demand impact. The solution can apply data science not only to on a product, store, or channel level, but also at different levels of aggregation, for instance, product, region, as well as with flexible groupings. The value opportunity is significant. Imagine the reductions in working capital if you could improve your forecast accuracy by up to 40% and increase inventory turns by 20%. Now look, data science really is the next big wave for mid-market organizations. The opportunity to unlock business value is significant. And for those of you on this call that are Sage reseller, the answer is that we want to partner with you. We have designed an aggressive VAR program to make it worth your while, up to 40% margin retention for every sale, 25% of year-over-year renewal bonus, 6 months of pre-sales and post-sale support at no cost, additional revenue from Ubix solutions. You can build a breadth of services around data science beyond simply ERP, and we've done a lot in our platform to automate the onboarding of customers. In fact, for a limited time only, we're offering a 50% discount off the Ubix standard annual subscription fee to all Sage 100 resellers who sign up as a Ubix VAR within the next 45 days. So just reach out to Miles Mahoney, our Chief Revenue Officer, and sign up now. Finally, if you're a Sage 100 customer, let me just say that we're confident that the strategic application of analytics can help you increase speed, agility, foresight in these volatile times. Please reach out to Miles Mahoney, our CRO, to schedule a discovery call in the next 45 days so that we can discuss how Ubix can help you. So with that, I am going to hand the microphone back over to Matt of V Technologies, who will walk you through the shipping.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Hopefully you can see my screen again. My name is Matt St. John from V Technologies, or AKA Starship. And today we're just going to go through kind of a brief overview of processing a shipment through Starship. Of course, if anyone would like to schedule a more personalized one-on-one discovery call, in-depth demo, please feel free to reach out. Of course, you can also, at the end of the webinar today, ask questions as well. But on my screen right now is the Starship program. So as a shipper, one of the nice things with Starship is I can actually just work in the Starship program. So technically, I do not need access to Sage. I don't need it installed on, say, our shipping machines out in the warehouse. Nice thing with that is, really with Starship, I could actually only use one Sage seat. So some programs or current software out there, they do require you to be inside of Sage using shipping data entry. So really, as a shipper, as a company, you're going to need a Sage seat and then also a license or seat for your shipping software. But with Starship, Really, we just need to take up one seat for the connection to Sage, and that way if you had 10 shippers, really we're still only using just one seat from inside of Sage. Now, with the workflow, as you see, we can pull by sales order numbers, customer number, or if we're creating invoices first, maybe using like a WMS system, we can pull by invoices. Most of our clients that aren't using WMS really pull by the sales order number, and that source information can be manually typed in up here in this field. If we happen to have it barcoded, for example, if we're using a WMS, probably that information is going to be barcoded. You could just scan it in, have Starship load it. We do fully support plug and play wedge type scanners. The other option is to, as you see down below here, I can manually look up my sales orders. Now, even though I'm not inside of Sage, this is still a live connection. So as, in this case, front office is adding sales orders or even making changes to those sales orders, Starship's automatically going to be picking those up. Now, with the manual lookup, up top here, as you see, I do have a filter. I'm just filtering it by a sales order number, but we can also filter really by any of these Sage fields. Okay, so again, live connection to Sage, you'll be able to filter by any of these fields. Group related, that's really if you ever need to consolidate multiple orders going to the same ship to. So we do fully support that, where as you can see, it's telling me I have 18 orders going to the same address in East Troy. So I could actually quickly select all those, create the shipment, and simply Starship is just going to consolidate them into one shipment. And I'll just deselect that for now. And any of these columns here, again, if I'm manually looking up sales orders in this case, we could sort by these columns. I can move them around. I can even remove them or add some. So I can kind of customize this for my shipper so it fits their needs. So in this case, I'm just going to quickly grab a shipment. We will do an international shipment, but just know that Starship is multi-carrier and multi-mode. So we're going to be able to process all our small parcel, LTL type shipments. We even integrate, as Adrian mentioned earlier, with e-commerce sites. And with those integrations, we could actually send the shipping information back into Sage as normal, but also update the order on an e-commerce site. Okay, so kind of some different functionality there. And with Starship, we are just simply data mapping the fields from Sage. So it is very simple to basically point any of the Starship fields to a standard Sage field, or if you're using user-defined or custom fields, we could point to those as well. So the nice thing with that, we don't have to get into custom programming. It is just a simple data mapping in the back end of Starship. Now, here in my system with the source, this is the company, my sales order number. Now, just know out of the box, we do fully support multiple companies, warehouses, locations. The sender information, we also fully support, say you're doing blind drop shipments. So for example, here, I have it saying Tractor Supply Company. In this case, I'm actually just pointing Starship to a user-defined field, and that's how it knows to automatically change this. Instead of the technologies, it says Tractor Supply Company. We could do it other ways by actually setting up the address. For example, here's Tractor Supply Company. Maybe I need to use their actual physical address. But again, we're going to keep drilling into this. And with the mappings, we can point to user-defined or custom fields, so we can help streamline that shipping process. So as a shipper, I don't have to come in here and manually select Tractor Supply Company. Really, again, true for any of the Starship fields. So shipping options, carrier, billing type, third-party account numbers, really all that can be automated. So as a shipper, I'm just going to really bring in this sales order in this case. Maybe over here with the recipient, which of course is going to be the ship to address. Maybe I want to mainly do address validation. That could also be set up to be automatically run. And then Starship will give me a prompt and say, hey, that valid is an address. You should use this one. And I can simply select that and it would overwrite with the correct recipient address. Transportation, really all our carrier service, again, billing account information. Usually just mapping this from your ship via codes, that's going to tell Starship all this information automatically. And even again, for third-party collect, it could be set up where all this information is automatically going to generate. We do actually have a database where you could store your customer's address information, including different carrier account numbers. And like I keep saying, it's just going to help automate that. If anyone is out there doing third-party collect shipments, we do also validate the billing account number. As you can see there, I removed one digit and now it's yelling at me. And even if I try to process this is a fake number, it's still going to yell at me and say, hey, that's an invalid account number. It doesn't match ABF, or in this case, American Business Future. So just going to change that back to prepaid. Now, shipment details, really, again, just all our shipment options. We can trigger these from Sage fields, default them as you see here, or I can manually select them. And then, of course, that down in the packaging, which is usually in a live environment, the first spot a shipper will go to. And this can even be set up to be tab sequence. So I tab and it goes right to this packaging. But of course, packaging is where we can get into that item box detail. We can add individual boxes. If it's a large order, we even have a repeat box function. So I can tell Starship, hey, I need 4 additional boxes. Can even copy the original weights and quickly add those boxes. Now, item to box detail, it's not a requirement. It does for at least one of the packages. You have to have all your items there, but it's not like you have to have your shipper put items in each box. Of course, we do at least have to have a weight. But if we wanted to get into item box detail, it is simple drag and drop. Now, in this case, with this blanket, I do have a packaging scenario which Starship can be set up. And in this case, it knows, hey, they're shipping a blanket. I know they always put it in a blanket box, that basically a box I call blanket. So it's automatically packaged it for me. So a great little feature there. But if I wanted to manually build my shipments, I can simply drag and drop. So here, I'll just throw that pillow in the blanket box. And then maybe these dinner plates, I know they go into a small box. This is just a database where Starship can store, or you can create and store bags, pallets, bales, cartons, whatever it may be. Nice thing with using the custom packaging is the dimensions will automatically populate. Now, if you're using a WMS system, just know however you define the shipment on that handheld device, that's how it's going to come into Starship. So nice thing with that WMS now as a shipper, I don't have to worry about selecting packages or putting items in boxes. Even the package selection, you don't have to do. And then over here with the dimensions, this can be a required field. Again, Adrian mentioned about dimensional pricing nowadays is a big deal. So with Starship over here, I have my quantities. So basically what we ordered and what we're going to ship on that sales order. We do have a security feature. If I wanted to allow my shippers to back order an item, they can do that on write back. It would write back, for example, if I did 5 out of 6 blankets, that's how it would go back into Sage. Actual weights, I'm just pulling them from Sage. We can integrate scales or manually put in the weights. And then bill weight is the carrier that is selected above here, dimensional calculation. So now with these two differences, Starship is rate shopping, and then when I process this, it's going to go to the carrier at the correct dimensional weight. Okay. Line item detail, I just want to break into this because I know in one of our bullet points, we talked about hazardous shipments, how we can help with that. So here, as you see, we have a whole database where this could be set up, store your inventory items, and I can tell it, hey, this blanket for some reason is hazardous. We do fully support, all the required inner packings. So again, even your hazardous shipments, this can be set up where it comes in as a shipper. I don't have to worry about typing in any of that required hazardous information. Okay. Now, of course, if any of this information is living inside of Sage, again, maybe we're using user-defined fields, we can map and automatically bring that in. So you're not using Starship's database. We would be pulling that from one database being, in this case, Sage 100. But usually after a live environment, a shipper does the packaging. They just simply scroll down here to do the live rate shopping. So with Starship, this is a live call. We're going to ping the carriers, return your live contract rates. For small parcel, we can also return published list rates. And then applied charges is usually what Starship writes back into Sage. So that would be plus or minus any freight rules. We can fully do any different type of freight rules, being flat rates, percentages, min-maxes, a calculation. So if you wanted to do things like free shipping over X amount of dollars, or maybe certain customers receive a discount, we can get into having Starship automatically do those calculations. Now, with the rating, we can also automate that. A lot of our customers do best way shipping, where they have it set up that Starship automatically selects the carrier that maybe is the least expensive, or maybe the least amount of business days. So even that whole rating can be automated as well. And then here, when we're ready to process, I'm just going to click the ship and process, but we also have these drop downs, shortcut keys. We can create return labels at the same time. But here again, I'll just do ship and process. And also in a live environment, Starship would automatically print out all your required shipping documents. Here for demos, I actually PDF everything so you can see them. And I also use this document here as our smart label. As you can see, this would print a shipping label and packing list together. I use this because I don't have a thermal printer hooked up, so it's just an option. Of course, we can send shipping labels to thermal printers. We can tell each label where the printer it should go to. So maybe our UPS and FedEx labels are different sizes, so they go to different printers. Packing list, that can also go to a thermal printer. Of course, we can send it to paper, or even if you wanted to, you could save it to a network share as a PDF. Documents can be customized, can create unlimited templates for each of those documents, and then even assign printing rules. So on this one, because it's a blind drop shipment, Starship knows, oh, I automatically have to use the Tractor Supply Company packing list that I have set up, which of course has their logo and their information on it. So that's box 1. Box 2, international shipments. As you see, we can also generate the required international documents, so shipper's letter of instruction, certificate of origin, all the new types, USMCA, TUSMA, T-MEC. And again, out of the box, all this information is going to automatically populate on those documents. And as I mentioned earlier, it could also be customized. So on this commercial invoice, I actually have it already signed and dated. And that would be the same thing if I'm processing an LTL shipment. Starship can do bill of lading forms, pallet labels, e-commerce orders, or EDI orders. We can even generate GS1 128 labels or UCC 128 labels. Nice thing, it's right at time of shipment with all my other information and documents. I also receive those 128 labels. But again, I just process the shipment. I receive or print out all my shipping documents, and then Starship's just going to take me right back to the main Starship screen. And back in my Sage machine, I'll quickly show you the write back. So as soon as your shipper clicks ship and process, Starship is going to create the invoice inside of Sage. So here's sales order 222. On the header, we're going to drop all that tracking information into the correct Sage tables. So I can even use their tracking button here, or maybe a customer called and I wanted to see item box detail. I can also see that as well, right from inside of Sage. And then of course on the totals, going to write back the freight amount. If we are, we can also do write back rules. So for example, if we already charged the customer the freight on a website, we can just simply tell Starship, hey, in this scenario, do not overwrite or write back the freight amount. Now, underneath the standard freight amount field inside of Sage that I've highlighted is freight costs from Starship and fuel surcharge. These are just user-defined fields that I've added. And in this case, I have Starship always sending back in this freight cost from Starship my contract rate. So that way, before someone updates the invoice, because we just create them, we don't update them or print them or email them. They could actually, review this and see, and in this case, be like, oh, hey, wait a minute, we shorted ourselves. What happened? Oh, the customer received a discount. They owe us money, so now it should be $75. Okay. So again, just some of those features of that write back with Starship and Sage. We also add a rate quote button inside of sales order entry. This is included, does not require any additional user seats. So even the front office has the power to do live rate shopping. This would really open up a screen that looks just like the Starship screen. Of course, the one difference there is I'm not going to be able to process a shipment through that screen, just use it to rate shop. And then real quick, one last thing, I just want to show you the dashboard program, which is our reporting tool. And just like the rate quote, this is included, does not require any additional user seat. So you could have this in the front office, and here I just select a history and status, but maybe I want to see what shipped. I can quickly come in here, drill down into it. Maybe the customer called and, hey, I don't have a packing list, or I'm missing some sort of document. I can even reprint or save this as a PDF right from this view. So that's nice. That way you don't have to bother the warehouse and ask them, hey, can you reprint any of the information, which of course they can do from the main Starship screen. But it's nice to give the front office the power to do that. And of course, from here, heat maps, maybe you want to see your hot spots, where all your shipments are going. We also add a bunch of canned crystal reports. So as you see, address corrections, history reports, late delivery, so on and so forth. And last but not least is this e-notify program. And through this program, you can actually create your own custom emails. Just like the printing documents, you can have unlimited templates. And instead of doing printing rules, you can actually do emailing rules. So here, I just have one with our company information, our PO, sales order number, so we can bring in Sage fields, where it's going, how many packages, ETAs coming from the carrier, so that's accurate. Can even let the customer know that item box detail, hyperlink tracking number, so this would kick them back to the website. So you can really use these to help reduce those inbound calls of customers looking for their shipments. And on these templates, like I said, maybe we want to do a 20% off promo code like I have. Promo codes can be hyperlinked. Maybe send the customer right back to your website. But with this template, again, we could just send this to, maybe we only want to send it to certain customers. All right. So again, brief overview of Starship and that integration with Sage 100. Again, appreciate everyone joining our webinar. And with that, I'm going to hand it up to Maya so we can talk about credit card processing.
Thanks, Matt. My name is Maya Green. I'm the CEO of VIP Integrated Payments. VIP is one of the leading independent payment solutions providers for Sage 100. We have been in the business for around 25 years total. I've been doing integrated payments in the Sage world for about 17 myself, and we work with all of the Sage products from 50 all the way up to Sage Intacct. We also work with SAP, Oracle, NetSuite, you name it. We are the integrated payments guys. So we'll go through a quick agenda here. We'll talk about ourselves a little bit, payments contracts, the third-party uninstall process for Sage 100 payment solutions providers, rate negotiation, support your industry, equipment leasing, grossly overstated savings, 24/7 real-time support, why to work with a payments consultant, and potentially setting up a Sage 100 payments demo. So about us, we again are leading independent provider of integrated payment solutions. We are, again, independent. We don't have one specific platform that we use. We have multiple platforms. And the reason that we have set that up is so the clients have multiple solutions, multiple options when it comes to payments. We do provide end-to-end solutions, and we work with a diverse network of partners and alliances, Sage 100 all the way through. We have been doing that, again, in the Sage space, we've been doing this for about 15 years since Sage got into the integrated payment space. And we have about 3,500 Sage 100 payments installs under our belt. The goal is to become your go-to integrated payments consultants. We do offer, industry differentiating products. So we offer some things that others don't. And we are ETA certified payments professionals. What that is, it's kind of like a CPA, but just for payments. We do sign a code of conduct, and all of our reps that work for us, all of the people in the company are ETA certified payments professionals. So first, we'll talk about early termination fees and long-term contracts. So the legal speak in a lot of these contracts, it's not very fun. So we'll just kind of brush over it. If you have questions at the end, feel free to ask or reach out to us directly. First and foremost, most important thing is the term. How long are you in this contract for? Most of the contracts in payments are 3-year term agreements. A lot of times what will happen is after that 36 months, it will auto-renew for 1 year. Some of the integrated payments providers auto-renew for 3 years. So it's something to avoid. You can always negotiate a month-to-month contract, which is all we offer is month-to-month. We want you to feel like you have the flexibility and your clients to feel like they have the flexibility. Indemnification. So what you want is you want somebody that offers a mutual indemnification. It's essentially insurance for merchants, right? So what generally happens is you get a one-sided indemnification where you are not covered and the payment solution provider is covered. What you want is you want to have mutual indemnification, and we can walk through that if you'd like to give me a call directly. Liquidated damages. Basically what that is if you sign up for merchant service provider and you sign up for that 36-month contract, if you want to leave before the 36 months is up, what happens is you will pay the profitability on the account monthly times the remaining months on the contract. So it could be pretty substantial. Exclusivity is a form of liquidated damages, and it basically just says that you will not lower or drop out of processing with us up to a certain percentage. If you do, then we will charge you. A lot of these are open-ended. It's definitely something to keep track of because it could be very costly. Now, you have options when it comes to Sage 100 and payment solutions providers. What happens though is if you're working with somebody that is not built on Sage code and there's only one solution that is, then what you're doing is you're installing invasive files in the library master in wherever you want to process credit cards, so AR, SO, GL. And what happens is if you want to leave that processor, what you have to do is you have to remove all those files. Over time, the files grow. It's really tough to get rid of them. So what they have you do is they have you uninstall the whole library master and reinstall it, which takes all of your customizations. If you're working with third-party solutions like Starship or Ubix, you have to uninstall those as well, which obviously will create headaches. So be very careful about that as well. How to negotiate lower rates. One is you have to know the average rates and fees for your industry. You definitely do not want to provide the merchant statement up front. You always want to require an annual rate review. And what that means is that every 12 months or so, you will request from the merchant service provider to do a rate review with you, see if they can improve some things. And generally, we do it every 6 months, sometimes 12 months, but it's really good because in April and October every year, Visa and MasterCard, Amex, Discover, they do what is called enhancements, which is never a good thing for the client. It's always where they raise their rates. So most merchant service providers will take it upon themselves to add some new fees to your account as well. Never, ever accept a tiered pricing structure. And what that is, it takes the rates that you're getting, it buckets them into 5 buckets, and you never know what you're paying to the merchant service provider and what you're paying to Visa and MasterCard, or why. So never accept a tiered pricing structure. Always request to work with somebody important, a manager, never a commissioned employee, because as you know, commissioned employees are incentivized only to get the sale, and that's generally how they're paid. So always work with a manager. And what you really want to do is you want to work with somebody that knows your industry, knows how it works. And when it comes to Sage 100, you have several industries that tend to fall into Sage 100 and that fit. So wholesale distribution, manufacturing, construction, services, chemical, food and beverage, and nonprofit. And we have, again, worked with all of those before. Again, over 3,500 integrated payments installs with Sage 100, so we're well versed. Equipment leasing is something that you absolutely do not want to do. We call it fleecing. You never want to rent your equipment. It's not worth it. Equipment is so cheap nowadays that it's just best to work with somebody that will provide it for you, or very inexpensive, you just buy it up front. always read the fine print. That's what I can say. When somebody offers you a rental or a lease program for equipment, look the other way, just and run as fast as you can, because generally they don't have anything good to offer and they're trying to lock you in. Look for grossly overstated savings. A lot of times what you're going to hear is you'll hear the buzzwords interchange optimization or level 2 and level 3 payments. That's great, but level 2 and level 3 payments is a very small majority of the cards that most people take. What is happening is when you get a quote from these merchant service providers, they're overstating the amount of level 2 and level 3 interchange optimization that they would get. So it shows the monthly savings as a lot more than it actually is. And when it comes out in the wash, you will not be super happy about how it really looks. So just beware when the savings looks too good, it probably is. Support is the cornerstone of our business. We will support anybody, anywhere, at any time. And what I mean by that is even if you're not our customer, we will take care of you. We'll do a screen share with you, fix whatever it is that you need. We will walk you through anything that you need as far as Sage 100 goes, the ins and outs of what you're using now. And again, you don't have to be our client. Obviously, we would like to earn your business, but we're happy to help you no matter what. We do provide 24/7 US-based support. We do provide our direct numbers, so you don't have to worry about if you're getting sent to somebody offshore or somebody that doesn't work directly for us. Our emails, phone numbers are right there. You're more than welcome to call us, email us, text us at any point. Payments consultants, and what we mean by consultants when it comes to payments, we generally have the heart of a teacher. Anytime you have a consultant, people are in the business to make money, but consultants are generally, teachers. They're generally a neutral party. We work to find efficiencies, savings, and gotchas in the contracts, in the support, in the service that others don't. And consultants generally offer multiple options, and so we fit the bill on all of those things, and we look to be the best consultant for you that we can be. Finally, what we generally do with our partners, whether it's Ubix or Starship or anybody else, if you're looking to purchase them or you have their services now, we generally run payments promos for you. So ask about that. Feel free to reach out. We can do live demos. We can help with anything that you need. And make sure you ask about the promos if you do or are looking to buy one of our partner solutions. Thanks for your time, and we hope that you have a great day.
Thank you, Maya and Matt and Tony, for a great presentation. And I just wanted to thank the audience for joining us today. We know your time is hard to come by, and we really appreciate you spending it with us. And I also wanted to thank the panelists for your excellent presentations. All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of the week. And thanks again. We hope to see you on a future webinar. Take care, everybody.